everybody doing? NTZ, Michalik, Nostradamus, Zoe, everybody else that's here. Matty P. What's up, Matty P? Matty P's came and went. Midlife crisis. Well, midlife crisis. It's your second midlife crisis because midlife happens when you're like 32. That's what people are always like, I'm having a midlife crisis. I was like, if you're 35 and you're having a midlife crisis, that's it because you live to be about 70, 72. If you have a midlife crisis when you're 50, you're lying. You've surpassed midlife long ago. That's just how it works. Midlife is at 35, 36, ladies and gentlemen. Just to clarify that for anybody who's telling me they have a midlife crisis past that age, I'm like, nah, you're having an old person crisis. So yeah, second midlife crisis. Fair enough. Fair enough. How's everybody doing tonight? Welcome to Randsanity, episode 229 of Randsanity. So this is my version of music, history, stuff, information, news, band listings, concert announcements, historical stuff, and just my little commentary on everything because I make comments about everyone and anything all the time. So I might as well just share them with you because why the hell not? Because otherwise I just bore everyone that's around me. So true, Dad. It is true. All of what I just said is true. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow, share, and watch. Watch meaning watch the stupid videos that only have like 300 views on them because that really, really makes me mad and sad. At the same time, I'm so mad and so sad. So like, subscribe, follow, share, and watch. That's a mouthful, but you have to do all those things because it tells me that. The little machine right there says for me to tell you these things. All right? All right, so we're going to do a little bit of stuff today. I'm going to talk about a little bit later. I'm going to talk about Jimmy Buffett and his harrowing experience with Bono 30 years ago on this day. I'm going to talk about some metal bands you definitely should be watching in 26. I got my history, my normal history stuff. Might talk about a concert announcement I saw again today for a festival that sounds like it could be pretty damn good and maybe a precursor for some of the festivals coming up in the States this year. We'll talk about some births and deaths and then just get my commentary on everything going on in the music industry. All right, sound like a plan? Ready to go? Rock and roll. What do we got on when you hear? Yeah, raccoons. Yeah, I saw a raccoon in broad daylight. I'm like, what are you doing outside? Go back home, wherever you were supposed to be. It's not out here in the daylight. Go do whatever you're supposed to do in the garbage cans. Trash panda, baby, trash panda. All right, so let's talk about some bands that you should definitely be watching for in 26. Now, these are heavy metal bands, okay? These are not your faint of heart bands, okay? These are pretty hard, pretty metal, all right? So 2025 was actually a good year for metal bands. Heavy metal music definitely would be an understatement that it went well. If you look at some of the lists of bands that performed last summer, there was a lot. There was a lot of bands that were out, and a lot of the metal bands really had a good performance. But there's definitely some big heavy metal tours that trekked across the globes in 25. And there's a good chance that 26 is going to beat it. So here's a few bands you should definitely keep your eyes on, okay? So one of them is the John Candy, okay? The John Candy, okay? It's such a hard band to describe. They're from Orange County, and these dudes don't riff with the best of them, okay? They are the best of them, okay? The John Candy started in Orange County, California in 2005, okay? The simple goal was to marry hardcore music with John Candy movie quotes. Now, right there, I mean, John Candy movie quotes with heavy metal music. Okay, I'm sold. So that's what you read if you go to the band's Spotify bio. The idea was born of a deep affection of the 80s, 90s pop culture and the man himself, John Candy, as well as a deep-seated heavy music roots from all members of the John Candy. The 3-song EP entitled Hi Kids was independently released, and then the band faded to obscurity. Also, if you love the proper, culture references, they cram them into the songs. I mean, where else are you going to hear Angel of the Morning smashed into a song that also samples Pee-wee's Big Adventure and Andrew WK? Nowhere. So, okay, the band had a big 2025 and expect a 26 to be bigger. So be sure that you keep the eye out for the John Candy. It's worth looking at. Okay. Next is Stomach Book. These guys are chaos core jams. Okay. They're one of those bands that it is hyper pop. Okay. Stomach Book's a cinematic take on this. It's very quirky, bizarre, and off the center with occasional bursts of madness. Stomach Book is one of the artists that if you don't listen to and understand that they're going to be playing, a couple of shows on the West Coast coming up here in April. The band's 2025 album, Good Night Hypno Pump, is an exciting musical journey that won't be like anything else you've ever experienced. Make sure to check out their upcoming tour and catch a show if they're playing one near you. Okay, it's definitely worth checking these guys. All right. I Promised the World. No band is making any kind of metalcore anymore. Like even the bands that literally started that sound are not doing it like these guys. Maybe Killswitch Engage, but that's an entirely different thing. Killswitch Engage is their own animal. I Promised the World are out here crafting melodic metalcore that rivals most of the shit as you listen to from, the last decade or two. From the riffs to sweeping scream vocals, these guys are doing it, and they're much better than their forebearers, okay? The band recently signed to Rise Records, and their new self-titled EP is out now. Go jam that and make sure to watch the show announcements on their social medias. This one just hit too hard to home. Crippling Alcoholism. So if you tell your friends to go see Crippling Alcoholism, they might ask you like, why should I go see a band named after my drinking habits? Well, it's because they're fucking dope. Okay, that's why. Crippling Alcoholism is not a brilliantly confidential name of the band. It's based on a true story. The band's founding vocalist, Coney Castrati, formed Crippling Alcoholism in 2022 after what their new record label, The Felser, called a particularly destructive episode of alcoholism. Musically, you can describe the band as crippling alcoholism. They're kind of a blend of ambient dark pop with a splash of chaos. And maybe some good gothic souls. Maybe Tom Waits. The band released a new concept album, Cam Girl, in September. But it's really, I've only just listened to a teeny bit of it. Their brand new LP version of the album is on the way, as well as other kind of killer merch. You can check out the pre-order when you go there. Lastly, the band Worm. Okay? Black metal has had very fascinating evolution over the past decade or so. One thing that really lacking is that there's no symphonic elements in the macabre romance a la 90s Cradle of Filth. Enter Worm. Emerging from Florida's Everglades with their debut album, Gloom Lord, in 2020, the band has undergone a wild and fascinating transformation over the years. You could define their early stuff as blackened death metal, but with their forthcoming album, Necropalace, they fully entered their cruelty and beast era. These kinds of thematics are part of what made the second wave of black metal so enticing. The imagery, it was candle pentagrams and blood and flesh and corpse paint and bones and swords and so much more. But behind that, you have some of the best musicians on the planet playing dark, fast, and unholy heavy metal. This is Worm in 2026. I've really not had a chance to listen to the whole thing of Necropalace, but it's not already be one of the best metal records of the entire year from what I'm seeing. You'll just have to find it for yourself when the thing's released on February the 13th. that's sort of the take on it. So there's just a few bands to check out if you're the metalhead that you're looking for. These are some of the hardcore metal music bands that are definitely worth looking at for 26. Just saying. My opinion. All right. Let's see what else we got going on. So, like I said, I'm gonna jump into something, this whole Jimmy Buffett thing. And like I said, I'll listen to Jimmy Buffett. I'll listen to reggae. I'll listen to heavy metal. Just not country. So not going to get the country stories out of me. Just so you know. Just saying. Just saying. All right. So we're going to go and jump all the way back. Go back and back and back and back and back and fall down the time capsule zone because that's what we do. I find the stuff that happened from forever ago. Now, this is interesting. Okay. So in 1957, the Cavern Club opened in Liverpool, England. It became the home of many Liverpool bands, including the Beatles, who appeared at the club 292 times. Over the years, a wide variety of popular acts appeared at the club, including the Rolling Stones, the Yardbirds, the Hollies, the Kinks, Elton John, Black Sabbath, Queen, The Who, and John Lee Hooker. That was 1957. Not to be outdone, in 1963, the Whiskey A Go-Go opened in California, in Los Angeles. Also home to pretty much every one of these bands that's played there, and then more. The Whiskey's been going since 1963, and it was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2006. I was actually talking about Lemmy the other day. When I went out there, I have a picture of me where it says Lemmy's Place in it. I didn't get that into the video, but just so you know, it's there. 1964, speaking of the Beatles, they played 2 shows at the Olympia Theater in Paris, France, the first of an 18-night engagement. The first show was attended mostly by Paris's top society members, all dressed in formal evening attire. The French press had little good to say about the Beatles in the next day's papers, but the Beatles didn't actually give a crap because they just received news that their single, I Want to Hold Your Hand, hit #1 in the United States, selling 10,000 copies an hour in New York City alone. 10,000 copies an hour. Yeah, so pretty much they can say, oh, screw you, Frenchie. More Beatles stuff. 2 days after it opened, the Bag One Gallery in London, England was raided by Scotland Yard. The police removed 8 John Lennon lithographs under the Obscene Publications Act. I tried to find pictures of them. I'm sure they were nothing too graphic, just, probably pencil drawings of penises and boobs, but Scotland Yard's on it. Get them. In 1973, Bruce Springsteen appeared at Villanova University, Philadelphia, to an audience of 25 people. 25. Due to a strike at the time by Villanova's school newspaper, the Villanovian, so creative, this concert went unadvertised. So there's probably the smallest crowd Bruce and the E Street Band have ever played in front of. Ever. The Villanovian. It sounds like it should be wearing a mask like, I don't know, a raccoon. The Villanovian. Like it's a villain. Just saying. And this one, ever since I found out that he was a singer, it just makes me laugh every time I hear about this. David Soul, one half of the TV cop show Starsky and Hutch, went to the #1 spot on the UK singles chart with Don't Give Up on Us. The track was also #1 in the US. And when I read about how he died of basically lung cancer. He was smoking 4 packs a day. Like, good Lord. That's like Snoop and his 80 doobs a day. Come on. All right, now this one, this is lessons not learned, okay? In 1980, Paul McCartney was jailed for 9 days in Tokyo for marijuana possession after being found with 219 grams on his arrival to Narita Airport in Japan. McCartney said in 2004, this stuff was too good to flush down the toilet, so I thought I'd take it with me. That was 1980, right? 1984, Paul McCartney again is arrested with Linda McCartney in the Barbados. What for? Cannabis. I mean, bro, stop flying with weed. So if anyone ever wondered, did Paul McCartney smoke a lot of pot when he was writing songs and whatever? The answer is definitively yes. Paul McCartney smokes a lot of pot. TV presenter Jules Holland. Okay, Jules Holland was a BBC producer, TV guy, the whole bit, okay? He was suspended from Channel 4's UK music show, The Tube, for 6 weeks after using the phrase groovy fuckers during a live trailer broadcast in a children's hour. I mean, come on, man. Like, I even know not to do that. It's after 11 o'clock and we're on TikTok, so I can say whatever. Say, fuck it. Same with it, because it's YouTube. But no, you don't do that on network television, no matter, even if you're in the UK. That's too funny. 24 years after the Beatles first topped the chart, George Harrison went on to #1 on the U.S. singles chart with Got My Mind Set on You, an old favorite of George's that was originally recorded by James Ray in 1962. In the UK, Harrison's version spent 4 weeks at #2 on the charts. You know, George needs some love, right? In 1988, former Go-Go singer Belinda Carlisle scored her first UK #1 single with Heaven is a Place on Earth. I listened to that tonight. Haven't heard it forever. I'm like, oh, it's a good song. I like that. I like Belinda Carlisle. The promotional video was directed by Academy Award-winning actress Diane Keaton and features an appearance of Carlisle's husband, Morgan Mason. I don't know who the fuck Morgan Mason is, so I don't really care. He must be someone that's famous, though, because he appeared in her video. 1988 again, George Michael went to #1 on the U.S. album chart with his debut solo album, Faith. It stayed for 51 non-consecutive weeks inside the Billboard 200 top 10, including a pilot error. 12 weeks at #1. It was also the first album by a white solo artist to hit #1 on the Billboard Top Black Albums chart. Faith spawned 4 #1 singles on the Billboard Hot 100. Faith, Father Figure, One More Try, and Monkey, making Michael the only British male solo artist to have 4 #1 hits from one album on the Billboard Hot 100. Let's go back to that camera. Let me go switch that. Sorry. Pilot error. All right. I know. Just tell me how to fix it, okay? It's a D5300 Nikon. It goes off after 20 minutes. The other one works fine. I can never figure this one out. So if you know how to fix it, just tell me. I've looked online. I can't do it. D5300 Nikon. It's not brand new, but it won't stop doing that. It won't stop turning off. Tina Turner gave herself a place in the record books in 1988 when she performed in front of 182,000 people in Rio de Janeiro, the largest audience ever for a single artist. Okay, that's fucking huge. I mean, I've been to Lollapalooza and I've been to concerts that have 100,000 people at it. 182,000? I can't even imagine the square footage that had to take up. That's nuts. I mean, that really is. That is an insane amount of people to see a show. I don't know if I'd want to be stuck in the middle of that. Talk about claustrophobic. Holy crap. In 1989, Michael Jackson played the first of 5 nights at the Memorial Sports Arena in Los Angeles, California. These were the last show of the singer's Bad World Tour, which had Sheryl Crow as backing up singer. The 123-show world tour began on September 12th, 1987 in Japan and was sponsored by soft drink manufacturer Pepsi. It grossed a total of $125 million, making it the second highest grossing tour of the 1980s after Pink Floyd's Momentary Lapse of Reason tour. Again, Taylor Swift dwarfs that. Jackson donated more than $1 million of the final concert's takings to an organization fighting child cruelty. We won't read about the other Michael Jackson stuff, though. Ike Turner. What you gonna do, Ike? Ike Turner, the ex-husband of Grammy Award-winning Tina Turner, was sentenced in a Santa Monica court to 4 years in state prison after being convicted of driving under the influence of cocaine and being under the influence of cocaine. The 4 charges stemmed from Turner's arrest in West Hollywood in May of 1989. Yes, hell of a drug, Ike Turner, cocaine. In 1992, Eric Clapton recorded his Unplugged session for MTV. The set, which included his current hit single Tears in Heaven and a reworked acoustic version of Layla, earned 6 Grammy Awards for the album, including Record of the Year. All right, so I teased it a little bit. Jimmy Buffett, 1996. Okay, this is just crazy shit. All right, this really is. I was like, whoa, bro. That's just like, it's not what you want, okay? This is not what you want, all right? So this is true. This is not made up. I went and researched it and found as much information as I could. So here's the deal. On January 16th of 1996, 30 years ago today, Jimmy Buffett and Bono, of all people, found themselves mixed up in a dangerous case of mistaken identity. The Margaritaville singer booked his Grumman Albatross seaplane, nicknamed the Hemisphere Dancer, for a flight down the Caribbean island to get some jerk chicken. That's what he says, okay? Joining him on the flight would have been Island Records founder Chris Blackwell, as well as Bono, his wife, and his 2 children. Prior to the trip, Jim Powell, Buffett's trusted pilot and aviation expert, cautioned the singer to rethink his plans. Jimmy wanted to land on the North Coast, and it looked like the weather map that the water might be too rough for his seaplane to land there, so they ended up having to make alternate route plans at the last minute. According to Powell, recalling it to the Chicago Tribune, I didn't have any approval for alternative arrangements. Concerned that the plane could be confiscated if it landed somewhere else, Powell suggested the trip be postponed for better planning. But Jimmy was saying, come on, let's go have fun. I didn't want to have any part of it, Powell admitted, but he felt responsible, so he decided that they should go. Powell's prediction proved surprisingly accurate. After planning to land at Montego Bay, Buffett's plane was rerouted to the western port of Negril. As the seaplane taxied on the water after landing, gunshots rang out. Jamaican authorities fired at the aircraft, believing that they were shooting at a drug deal airplane. The boys were shooting all over the place. I felt as if we were in the middle of a James Bond movie, only this was real life, recalls Bono. It was absolutely terrifying, and I honestly thought we were all going to die. Thank God we were safe and sound, Bono continued. Nothing that his immediate concern for his safety of his children. It was very scary, let me tell you. You can't believe the relief I felt when I saw the kids were okay. An estimated 100 rounds of bullets were sprayed at the aircraft. Thankfully, nobody was injured aboard the Hemisphere Dancer, but it was damaged with bullet holes. The windshield was shot, and the fuselage was riddled with holes. Following the incident, Bono immediately flew with his family back to Miami. The Jamaican government later issued a public apology for the whole mistake. Meanwhile, Buffett, unsurprisingly, found humor in the whole ordeal. He said he thought it was a joke until he heard the gunfire, the singer admitted to Rolling Stone magazine. They thought we were a dope plane. I mean, we looked much like a dope plane as it looked like somebody who'd be on the Pat Robertson show. In June of 96, 5 months after the shooting, in Jamaica, Buffett released his 20th studio album, Banana Wind. It featured a song inspired by the incident titled Jamaica Mistaka, with a chorus where it said, come back, back to Jamaica. Don't you know we made a big mistake? We'd be so sad if you told us goodbye, and we promise not to shoot you out of the sky. What? I mean, okay. Yeah. Thank you, no. Okay? I mean, the plane lands and they just automatically open fire on this thing? I guess that's how you take care of drug runners, right? Just start shooting at them. It'll be fine. Pay no attention to the man behind the boat. Yikes. All right. Let's move on with that one then. In 2000, American singer Will Jones died from diabetes. He was known for his song from the Coasters and the Cadets. Their biggest song was the Coasters had the hit Yakety Yak, Yakety Yak, Don't Talk Back, as well as Charlie Brown, Charlie Brown. Dun, 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 dun. You've heard that. I know you have. And if you haven't, well, go find it. It's not that hard. In 2000, it was reported that Mick Jagger had lost his chance of knighthood because of his errant ways. Prime Minister Tony Blair, having doubts about the message it would give about family values, he decided that, well, he changed his mind on the 12th of December in 2003, and Mick Jagger was made a Knight Bachelor by the Prince of Wales himself for service to music as Sir Michael Jagger. Yeah, I don't know about that one. Yeah, now we have that other Michael Jackson, but we're going to just forget about that one. We're just going to say because Michael Jackson, he was being charged and pled something with something and something. The singer who arrived 20 minutes late to court was told by the Santa Barbara judge that Mr. Jackson, you have started out on the wrong foot here and it is an insult to the court. Well, I guess that's Michael Jackson saying like, I don't care. I'm Michael Jackson. In 2005, Elvis Presley's single One Night made chart history by becoming the 1,000th UK number one. Elvis led last week's chart with Jailhouse Rock, had now scored more number one UK hits than any other artist with 20, beating the Beatles with only 17 chart toppers. Elvis the King, 2005. Also in 2005, The Killers started a 2-week run at number one on the UK charts with their debut album Hot Fuss. The Las Vegas band also entered the UK singles chart at number 3 with Somebody Told Me. Green Day were number one on the US album chart with American Idiot. I like that. That's a good one. James Pookie Hudson, lead singers of the 50s doo-wop group The Spaniels, died. He had the song Good Night, Sweetheart, Goodbye, Good Night, Bo Bo Bo. Yeah, that one. They were featured in films, Three Men and a Baby, American Graffiti. They were also one of the first artists to sign with VJ Records, the first large independent Afro-American owned record label. Bob Dylan and his brother David Zimmerman bought Altmore House, a mansion in the Scottish Carnarvonmoors National Park near Netherbridge, Inverness Shire. Too many words. Dylan put the house back on the market in 2023. The 11-bathroom house with a large Victorian greenhouse, a walled garden, a fountain, a croquet lawn went up for sale for $3.8 million. 11 bathrooms. I guess if you have a bad bladder, you just have to walk it's like Disney. The garbage cans are spaced out in the time it would take for you to eat a hot dog. So you eat it and there's a garbage can there. So this one's, by the time you take a sip of water or drink a cup of coffee, there's a bathroom waiting for you. In 2008, Radiohead was forced to abandon an intimate gig at the Rough Trades East Records in London after police raised safety concerns. The band moved the gig to a nearby club after over a 1,500-person crowd turned up for the event when it was announced in the morning, promising tickets to the first 200 fans. Yeah, that happens when you say, yeah, come out. Yeah, there's 1,000 people outside. Now this one, I'm like, really? Explain to me how this isn't exactly what you're charged of. You tell me when I'm done. Boy George was sentenced to 15 months in prison after being convicted of falsely imprisoning a male escort. The Culture Club frontman denied the charge at Snarebrook Crown Court and claimed the victim, Norwegian Auden Carlson, had stolen photos from his laptop. Okay. The signal told police he invited Carlson back to his home after a cocaine-fueled pornographic photo shoot in January of 2007. Because he suspected the Norwegian of stealing pictures from his computer, he admitted handcuffing Carlson to a wall in April of 2007, but said he did so in order to trace the missing property. So, let's see. He admitted to handcuffing Carlson to a wall, and he was sentenced to prison after being convicted of falsely imprisoning a male escort, and he denied the charges. I don't know. I'm thinking if you handcuff someone to a wall and they don't want to be handcuffed to the wall, that would be, in fact, falsely imprisoning someone. Oh, Boy George. Yeesh, man, that's a... Okay, note to self. It was announced that Joe Strummer was to have a city square named after him in Spain, following a Facebook campaign in 2013. More than 2,000 residents of Granada, where the Clash frontman frequented many times as a visitor, signed a petition calling for him to be honored. City Hall officials agreed to the proposal, and a square in the area was set to be renamed Plaza de Joe Strummer. Where are you going, Plaza de Joe Strummer? What? I don't know. It's just one of those weird things. In 2019, American musician Laura Doom died of cancer at 61. She was the bass guitarist for the punk rock band The Germs. Their music was influential to many later punk rock acts. Germs guitarist Pat Smear went on to achieve greater fame performing with Nirvana and then the Foo Fighters. Well, that's where Pat came from, apparently. Who knew? 2021, American producer Phil Spector died in prison at the age of 81. Known for his Spector Wall of Sound, he was a member of the Teddy Bears, who had the 1958 U.S. #1 single, To Know Him Is to Love Him. He went on to produce many classic songs, including Ben King's Spanish Harlem, The Crystals' Do Ron Ron, The Ronettes' Baby I Love You, The Righteous Brothers' You've Lost That Loving Feeling, Ike and Tina Turner' Deep River Mountain High. He also produced albums for The Ramones, John Lennon, produced the 1970s hit Instant Karma, George Harrison, The Beatles, Harry Nilsson, and all of this led to him shooting and killing Lana Clarkson, the actress, in his home in Albrahama, California. That then led to his 2009 conviction for the murder in the second degree, which put him into prison, which he died in. Phil Spector. Today's the day he died. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Tina Turner. Yes. All right. Couple of little side notes of things that happened on this day, the 16th of January. In 1965, the last Outer Limits TV show was shown. I can't believe it's that old. I've caught that on reruns. It was definitely sort of like Twilight Zone precursor. But yes, that's crazy. The Outer Limits, the last one, was done in 1965. In 1976, the Donnie and Marie variety show premiered on this day. And I already told you that the Whiskey A Go-Go opened on this day in 1963, along with the Cavern Club in 1957. The Whiskey was inducted into the Rock Hall in 2006. Not too bad, Whiskey. All right. So I was gonna go ahead and tell you. Let's before we go to births and deaths. I was just looking through some of the things, shows that I want to catch. And Beach Life returns to the shores of Redondo Beach in Los Angeles, May 1st to the 3rd. The lineup features Duran Duran, The Offspring, James Taylor and his all-star band, Chainsmokers, My Morning Jacket, Slightly Stupid, Sheryl Crow, Ben Harper, and more. The tickets are on sale now. GA tickets start at $169 for a single day, $400 for a 3-day pass. See, that's what you spend money on. You spend $400 for a 3-day pass to go to a festival. Those are the ones to spend the money on. The annual Beachsides event 2025 saw more than 35,000 attendees. That's not a lot. Over the 3 days, according to organizers, with Lenny Kravitz, Sublime, and Alanis Morissette, as well as others, including Train, OAR, Pretenders, Cake, Mount Joy, Jackson Brown, The Beach Boys, and John Stamos, along with an eclectic group of top talent spanning rock, indie pop, jam, reggae, and more. Beach life back in California lifestyle. All right, so let's see what we got going on. It looks like day one is Duran Duran, Chainsmokers, Group Love, Flip Turn, Fits in the Tantrum, Borns, Jeremy Buck, The Schizophrenics, Willow Walk, Gen Pop, Triple Bueno, The Only Bay All-Stars, and Taft Buckley. Music lineup for Saturday, May the 2nd, The Offspring, Slightly Stupid, Ben Harper and the Innocent Criminals, Sugar Ray, Switchfoot, Bad Sons, Fortunate Youth, Landon McNamara, Surfer Girl, Mikura, Jim Lindenberg, basically a Pennywise, Mike Watt, Easy Honey, Pawn Shop Kings, Dave DeVore, and Water Tower. And then Sunday has James Taylor and his all-star band, My Morning Jacket, Sheryl Crow, Peach Pit, Poolside, Buena Vista Orchestra, Chris Pierce, Wyna, the Hendrix Frankenritter, Dog Park, David Bonte, The Spinouts, and Righteous Waves. That's not a bad lineup for $400. So spend your money, go to a festival this summer. I'm telling you. I'm going to be like everybody else at some point. I'm going to go ahead and sell you crap. I'm going to put together a festival pack that you can buy. That'll give you the things that you need to take when you go to festivals so you can take all your shit with you and have all the shit you need to take with you in your festival pack. So that's going to come up. I'm going to do that because I have my own. So now I'm going to give you the opportunity to find that out. I'll be like all these other yahoos on here and be like, hey, you can buy this for only $19.99. All right, births and deaths. Born on this day, John Carpenter, 78 years old. John Carpenter wrote Halloween and The Thing. I love the movie The Thing, okay? Just because I think it's one of those things, but it's one of those movies that it can be explored in so many different ways. Because there was the original Thing, and then John Carpenter redid it, and then there was like the one that was before it. But I think that could be remade again because it's one of those, the alien can be anything, The Thing. But yeah, I definitely like that movie. It's definitely one. Anytime it'll pop on TV, I'll watch it, even though I've seen it probably 20 times. The Thing. All right, what are we doing here? Trying to click on stuff. James May of Top Gear, 63 today. Greg Page of The Wiggles, 54. Kate Moss, 52. Lin-Manuel Miranda of Hamilton, 46. I've not seen Hamilton. I've not watched it. I've not been to the play. None of it. I just missed it. Just kind of right over me, man. I've never caught it. So, yep, Chainsmokers. Yep, Buckhead Lake. I'm sure he did. I can see that. I can see Jimmy Buffett doing that. Crazy ass Jimmy Buffett. Bob Boggle of the Ventures. He would have been 92 today. He died in 2009. They had that really good couple of instrumental songs. Paul Raven of Killing Joke, 64, died in 2007. He would have been 64 today. Paul Webb of Talk Talk is 63. And Nick Valencia of The Strokes is 45 today. People we lost today besides Phil Spector, I know. Ted Cassidy. He was Lurch on the Addams Family. He died at 46. He died in 79. Kind of young. I didn't realize. I guess when you have hypergiantism, you don't last very long. You know, like big dogs don't last to be as old as regular sized dogs. So big people don't last to be as old as normal people. Just saying. Bernard Lee. He was M in 007. He would have been 73. He died in 81. Jesus. Trey Wilson from Raising Arizona. He died at the age of 40. He died in 89. He was the guy the parent of the 8 babies. I forget what his name was now. He was the Furniture King. Dave Madden, Reuben Kincaid from the Partridge Family, their tour guy, Reuben Kincaid. He died at 82 and 10 years ago. Russell Johnson died on this day. Russell Johnson, we all know Russell Johnson. He was the professor on Gilligan's Island. He died at 89. David Lynch, who wrote Twin Peaks and Blue Velvet, died last year at 78 of emphysema. Apparently he was a big smoker. It happens. David Holman of Judas Priest died at the age of 69. And of course, Phil Spector died at the age of 81. Good old Phil Spector. What are you going to do? Nathan, Arizona. Exactly right. My name is Nathan, Arizona. Yes, thank you for that, Nostradamus. Nathan, Arizona. I love that movie. I'm a fan of Nicolas Cage. There's some actors like Tom Cruise. I don't know. I could give or take Tom Cruise. There's certain movies I'll catch him in, I'll watch a little bit, but I'm like, he's not, it's not one of my ones I'm just like, have to see. But Nick Cage, any movie I see with Nicolas Cage, I'll watch. It's just because I just think, there's just something about him. I'm always like, yeah, I don't know. He seems like he's kind of a cool dude to hang out with. He just looks like he's kind of nuts in a good kind of nuts way. I don't know if he's like that in real life. I've never had the chance to meet him. But he seems like he'd be a good guy to hang out with, that he's just nuts in the right kind of way. Because we all want our friends that are a little bit nuts in the right kind of way. Not so my friends that I know that are nuts in the absolutely wrong kind of way. Yes, John Goodman did steal that show. That was a really good movie, Raising Arizona. I'm gonna see if that's gonna be on TV anytime soon. I'll have to watch that one. It just, yeah, all of it. Donnie. You're right. I can take it to Moisha. I'll take the camera to Moisha. You're the best. Who just gave me that idea? I love that. Yes, I'll take it to Moisha. What a great idea. Thank you for sharing that. I will take my camera to Moisha. Moisha will know what to do with it. Moisha. That's awesome. All right, well, happy Friday night. I still can't believe the whole Jimmy Buffett thing. I had never heard that story before until I read it this afternoon. I was like, wait, what? I was like, holy shit. That's crazy, especially with Bono and his kids. I mean, dude, that dude must have been flipping out. I mean, wow. 100 bullets being riddled into an airplane fuselage while you're inside it. Basically thinking you're drug smugglers when you're going to get jerk chicken. Thank you, no. I will pass on the jerk chicken, sir. Jesus. What are you going to do, right? Not get your jerk chicken for sure. I have a couple of Jimmy Buffett stories. But I'll say that for another day because it's already late. I've already done this for 57 minutes and I don't want to bore everybody. So I'll tell my Jimmy Buffett story another day. It didn't involve Jimmy Buffett. It involved a bus load of drunken Jimmy Buffett fans on the way to the Jimmy Buffett concert. Since I did a lot of bus trips over the years with a lot of drunken people and a lot of silly shit happened. But this was one of those ones where this was some silly shit that definitely shouldn't have happened. So I'll make note of that one. If you come back tomorrow, I will tell the Jimmy Buffett bus story. Jimmy Buffett bus. So if you come back tomorrow, I will share the Jimmy Buffett bus story. All right? So I'll be back here tomorrow at 11, Saturday night. Do this all over again, but completely different because it'll be different news and different happenings. Maybe I'll have some more concert announcements. Who knows? We'll give it a shot and we'll give it a hope. And I never know what's going to happen because I don't read the news until early in the day. And then I just go, holy crap, that really happened today. Or I go, really? Man, what are you doing? Jackass. All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate your patronage. Remember, you have to like, subscribe, follow, share, and watch. Like, subscribe, follow, share, watch. That's what this thing keeps telling me to do. Like, subscribe, follow, share, watch. And if you're so inclined, you can always check out the YouTube series that I was the co-star with Stephen He, Heinz Verified, Day Trippin'. I was the driver. Who knew? Someone just said, you want to drive? You can co-star on this YouTube show. I said, sure, why not? Stephen He. It's kind of interesting. There's some fun stories about it. Anyway, we'll leave that for another day too, as well. Also, parrot heads. Yeah, I know. I always went for the party. That was the best part about it. Get wasted away in Margaritaville. It's like going to the Dead shows. I went to lots of Grateful Dead shows. I didn't love or hate the Dead. They were good. It was fun. It was a party. It was an adventure. People watching, man. I'm a voyeur. I love people watching. I go to the Ohio State Fair for that fact alone. You just walk around the fair and be like, what? It's Walmart in public. I love it. Hey, I'm no prized possession myself. I get it. But, sometimes you have to laugh and be like, okay, that's fun. What are you going to do otherwise? Anyway, all right. So I will move to this camera. I can go to that one. See? Hi. I'll go back to this one. Thank you for being here. Thank you. Appreciate you greatly. Oops, I keep forgetting to do this. See, I got to bring that over because otherwise it doesn't work. Then I'm like talking to nobody and people are like, I can't hear you. So I changed this camera. I can do that one. See? So I just want to say, oops, wrong camera. God, I'm just pilot error. I'm just like, I just don't know what I'm hitting over here. Anyway, thank you. I appreciate your patronage. And again, remember, like, follow, subscribe, share, watch, all those things. I'll be back tomorrow. We'll do this all again, and I will tell the Jimmy Buffett bus story. It's always an adventure when you're out on a bus trip with a bunch of listeners, and that reminds me of Molson Snow Jam. Oh, that one I'll have to tell too. God, for only money, I would get you guys a license back in the station. Yes, thank you. Yes. That would be great. Oh, yes. Sign me up. I'm there. I'll do it. I'm ready to go. Put me in, coach. Win the lottery. Someone play the lottery and win me that big fat stack. I'm there. You can even work there. We can have fun. It'll be an adventure. It's always an adventure, just so you know. Every day is an adventure. But I appreciate it. So don't forget, like, follow, subscribe, watch, share. I'll see you guys tomorrow, 11 o'clock. And we'll talk about Jimmy Buffett and all the new stuff. All right? Thanks, though. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you guys for being here. Talk to you again. Fade to black. Oh, scheisse.